Yes, everybody, welcome back to the United View studio. Welcome back to another episode of What the Devil, a collaboration between United District and United View. And we are here after what I think has been my favourite ever 5 days off-season as a United fan. We've had the most, since the transfer window opened, we're on 5th of July now, so 5 days in. It's been nuts. Transfer window's been crazy. Day one of the window, Matheus Cunha, official, through the door, just pending visa registration, which is never an issue. Day two. We've had day two. Bruno Fernandes is staying at the club. I know that's a little divisive, but I'm personally...
We'll talk about that one.
Personally, I'm so happy with that. Day three, Bryan Mbeumo wants us.
So we're just going to be doing Not Lion King, yeah?
Yeah. Just the entire episode.
I like it.
He had Newcastle, he had Arsenal, he had Spurs. I'm sure people from Europe, but he went, no, 15th. That's where I want to be.
No, that's not what he said. He doesn't want to be 50th. Guess what? It's a new season.
He wants to lift us up. He wants to lift us up.
I think that's what we all forget, innit? The pull that everybody has to say that they want to make Manchester United great again. That's the thing. That's the real pull there.
It's the idea of being that is, and then day four. United, we're acting quickly. Bid in Mbeumo immediately, 24 hours pretty much after he went, we went, right, bid. Got rejected, 45 plus 10. We'll go on to the evaluation, everything in a second. And then day 5 today, it's suddenly, who's very keen to join now? Who's very keen to join now? Is it 52 goals this season? Victor Gyökeres?
Don't talk to me! Hey, come on. That's what I'm going to be doing. All summer. Every time I see an Arsenal fan, listen, like, your duty as a Manchester United fan, if we get Gyökeres, don't talk to Arsenal fans. Just go, And
just, Timmy,
just walk
free
away.
Masks.
Just
all of us.
I got to admit, obviously, a lot of what's been happening, it's rumours, speculation, blah, 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 but obviously, if it comes out of David Ornstein's mouth, you can take it as fact. If it comes out of Fad's mouth, it's fact, end of the day, isn't it? But I've honestly, as I said at the beginning, there, this has probably been like one of my favourite 5-day periods at United, like non-season wise, like in the summer, in the windows, everything on the off season. This is crazy. This is just so, I love it. Like, I get accused a lot of being an Ineos insider, right? I get accused of being paid by, I'm on Ratcliffe's payroll. They sacked 450 members, but they hired me as a PR guy. But what I like, we have made bad decisions on the pitch, and there's been obviously very questionable things going on. But in terms of transfers, I've been banging this drum for a while that I like what's been happening. I like how quickly and efficiently they've done stuff, and I like who they've been targeting. All our signings so far by Ugarte will get a thumbs up from me personally. Obviously, varying levels of that, but I think by Ugarte I've liked them. And then we've gone in for Cunha, going in for Mbeumo, going for Gyökeres, who all fit us and we need. Obviously, we tried to go for Delap as well, but that didn't work. He signed for Chelsea yesterday. And then we're looking for a mid. We're looking for potentially a new goalkeeper, a new centre-back if players leave. I like it.
Can I say something?
I like it. Yeah, go ahead.
If we get Gyökeres,
what are you going to say?
Do you want to finish that sentence?
United is back.
Back where though? No, hold on.
Back. Yeah. Where are you saying back? Because you got to realise where we were
110%.
Where we were was top of Europe.
I don't even care about. Like, Man United is back, competing
under Amorim, yeah.
Under anyone. Under anyone.
You know what?
Under anyone.
I think that's a bit far. But what I will say is what we are back to is piss boiling. Everyone hates us again. This window, these 5 days, everyone hates us again.
I do love that, yeah.
But that's how it needs to be. We're the villains. We were the villains.
That's
right?
why we're the devils.
We've always been the villains, right? We've been the ones that all the clubs hate. And we're not that anymore because we've been so bad. We've been a laughing stock. These 5 days, at least even if it's temporary, has pissed everybody off, and I love it.
I can't lie.
I really, really, really like it.
Last season, that's what I hated the most, when people started to say that, started feeling sorry for us as fans.
That's painful.
Other fans were telling us, I don't even hate you, Man United. I feel sorry for you.
Exactly.
I was like, who are you to be feeling sorry for me, though? Bro, shut up. You know when you just want to wild out when you hear that, because it's like, we're supposed to be hated.
Of course.
The reason we're supposed to be hated is because of all the stuff that we do on the football pitch. But they still have reasons to hate us. That's what we're trying to see now, that they still have reason to hate us because we're still a force in the market. Yep. We're still a force to be reckoned with. Yep. For some reason, we still attract big name players. Players will tell other teams that they don't want to go there, they only want us. That's what's crazy to me. I mean, they're not even open to discussions.
Do you know what makes it even better? Like, Zibonende. That deal hasn't
Oh.
even been finalised, is it?
Don't
And then you're looking
let
at
me
the
start talking
rivals,
about
you're
Arsenal.
looking at Liverpool and you're looking at their super signing, and that hasn't been finalised as well. And I'm just looking at it thinking, hey, well, we've at least got Cunha over the line.
That's what I'm saying. We're acting quickly. Like I honestly, well, I want to move on specifically talking about Mbeumo now. I reckon that hopefully will be done in the next week or so.
Yeah.
The way we've acted with Cunha and stuff, and the way because these Mbeumo's funds are, as far as the reports go, they're not part of sales, right? We had like 100 mil-ish to spend. Cunha was 60, and then Mbeumo's looking like it's going to be maybe like 50, 55 odd plus add-ons, which is the budget we had initially anyway. So like this, I think, will get done quickly because we're not depending on anything. He wants to join us. Brentford have to sell. We want him. It just depends on working out like a middle ground. And the only thing that I wouldn't say worried about, but I would say slightly kind of is on the back of my mind is how quickly can we sell? Because buying players quickly is one thing, right? It's being in the market, being active in the market, getting deals done and getting them over the line. But then Cunha obviously was a release clause thing, so that does make things 10 times easier because you pay the release clause and it's done. And then Mbeumo looking like it's going to be done quickly. But like if we start staggering and start not pushing forward properly with sales, that might cause an issue. So I'm hoping, obviously there's been the news today that Liverpool have said no to Barcelona for Diaz.
Yep.
And Barcelona were going, Diaz or Rashford, or like, it's just Rashford now. So hopefully, like they were willing to spend like 70 mil or something on Diaz. So hopefully they've got, okay, we've got a bit of funds now, we can maybe get some sort of agreement going with Rashford. If we can get some sales over the line, well, I think we're really going to be cooking this summer. But on Mbeumo, I think, as I put here, Brentford's Mbeumo demands are ridiculous. Like, I understand that this is a club that's posturing, right? They want to get as much money they can for players out of their contract. But I think 70, so Fabrizio Romano has said 70 mil is the overall package they want.
Yeah.
That's like 60 plus add-ons. But
I'm not mad at it.
But why?
I'm not mad at it because if the add-ons are something like, oh, we get you into Champions League football, pay it.
But I do think that
It's an add-on.
United can't set a precedent. So with the Wolves thing, we asked if we could pay the 62.5 in 5 instalments, and Wolves went no, 3, and we went fine immediately. If Brentford then go, oh, you bid 45 plus 10, now we want 70, United go, okay, fine,
but it
and pay
depends
it. If we start with if we start having some sort of reputation of being a club that will just cave to demands and send it.
Well, I think you have to figure out what the stumbling blocks are. If it is something like, add-ons or the way that we are going to choose to pay the money over a set period of time, these could all be stumbling blocks which they could have rejected it for. It might not even be the fact that if the add-ons are telling me something like, if he gets you back in Champions League, if he wins you a trophy, these kind of stipulations put into a contract, I'm not mad at, because at the end of the day, if we get that, we're not mad, and we're happy, and we have more money, pay them the extra 10 mil. That's what I'm saying. If it's add-ons like that, I'm not mad at it. If it's 70 up front over a 3-year period, no. Yeah. If it's 60 plus 10 add-ons, I already said that 60 would probably have been. I actually said 55 would have been my maximum, but if it's
that's
60,
what I was about to say. Yeah.
if it's 60, it's that one where you're pushing it. But all right.
Yeah. To be fair, the add-ons point's a really good one. If it's add-ons like achievements, then sweet, because obviously we get the money through the achievements anyway. I don't want to see add-ons like goals and appearances and stuff. Like so for example, like Mason Mount, we had to pay Chelsea 3.5 mil because we got to the Europa League final. Not even win it. It was just because we got there, which is annoying because we lost the Europa League final and had to pay 3.5 million. So basically a lot of the money that we got from Sancho coming back, the 5 mil from Chelsea, has gone back to Chelsea because we I don't want to see it being like 5 mil if we finish top 4 kind of thing. I do agree with the whole, if we win the Champions League or if we win the Premier League, whatever, then be like, 5 mil for Champions League, 5 mil for Premier League, because we will then earn 100 million from that anyway. So I don't mind that, but I would like to hope that United can keep the actual fee to, so if they've rejected 45, 50 to 55 would be happy with. Anything over that, I want him pretty much at all costs.
But where do you stop?
it would annoy me.
Where do you stop? You say at all costs, so where do you stop?
Look, I think
If the max they want is 70 million, right? Which is maybe 60 plus 10. That is, anything over that, I would be annoyed, but we're not going to pay over that because they didn't ask for over 70, if that makes sense.
Fair enough.
So I would be, if it ends up being 65 plus 5, I'm a bit like, the guy's got 1 year left. What are you doing? We don't have
They
any
could
money.
trigger an extension if they wanted to.
I don't think they will. I don't think they will.
They could posture it. That's the only thing they have to posture
They
with.
could, but I think they'd be stupid to. Because it increases their chances of not selling the player at all.
Yeah, and Mbeumo will
He's
definitely.
26.
Yeah,
He
and
will sell.
Mbeumo's going to.
No,
He'll
Mbeumo will
be
leave
going
for
to.
free.
He'll be
That's
going.
true.
He'd be
That's
going
true.
to turn into Brentford and going.
It's true. it's
Let
true.
me. I've had like 4 or 5 years with you. He's got like 70 goals, 50 assists, and kept them like under. Obviously, he was playing behind in Ivan Toney's shadow when Ivan Toney was there. But he was still good. He was churning out like 8, 10 goals, 7, 8 assists per
Great
season.
assists.
This season, 20 goals, right? Brentford kind of, in some sort of way,
Owe him one.
they need to allow him to do that because Frank has said in the media so many times we're a selling club. The manager can't come out and go we're a selling club and then try and posture and go we're going to keep him. Like, no, you've said you're a selling club. You know you are. Stay in your place.
You want the money.
That makes
Take the
sense.
money.
Yeah, exactly. Their PSR is fine. They don't have any massive PSR issues. But I do think that I'd be like 55 max is what I'd want to see the full fee at. 60, I'm like, fine. Anything over that, I'd be a bit like, what are you doing, man?
That's a bad deal then.
Brentford have then won those negotiations. So we get Mbeumo, sweet, fine, amazing, sick, I love him. But I'd say we've overpaid.
The reality is they're pointing towards the Cunha deal. As soon as that Cunha deal went through, they said, that's my target. Forget the 70 million. 70 million is them setting high so that it allows for negotiations for them to get to the 62.5.
But then they should have done what Wolves did and make him sign a deal with a release clause.
Release clause, exactly. That's the thing. Because
It's not
we
our
have
fault they didn't do that.
a release clause, because we had a release clause with Cunha, there wasn't that much wriggle room. When we had one with Xerxes, we actually had to pay more to spread over the cost. When you've got guys like this, that when Mbeumo hasn't got a release clause, but then we know that they're posturing towards the 62.5. We already set the value for them because us buying Cunha. Remember when the talk was 50 million? I guarantee
That's true.
if a Newcastle came in, it won't be 70 million talk.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be 60.
This is what I agree with. This is why I think that what they're saying is a bit ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. They're going to get negotiated down. I think it's going to be somewhere around the 60 million mark. They're going to get negotiated down from this fake.
Yeah, if it's 60 million total, including add-ons,
It's
I'm
gonna be
well happy.
Including
with that.
add-ons, then that's a great deal.
Yeah,
Because it's 55 at the minute,
but I don't
including
think it's
add-ons.
going to be difficult add-ons.
I don't see how we
And
end
that's the
up
thing.
spending an extra 15 mil.
I think that the add-ons are going to be. They're going to be pushing for it to be achievable, and that's how
Like
we're
top
gonna-
4 or something like that.
They're going to be saying like.
Yeah, but I think what it might be is like, it'll be like 2.5 million when we get top 4, and then another 2.5 if we do it again in back-to-back seasons, and then another 2.5 if we win the Premier League, and then another 2.5
That
if
would
we win
be
the
great
Champions
if it
League.
is.
I'll
but
be
I
Something
think-
like that.
Pay him. If there's anything along those kind of lines,
I think they
I have no
I think they're
problem
going to
with
want
that.
appearances. There'll be 1 or 2 maybe like that add-ons, but I reckon.
you have some guaranteed ones like appearances.
They're going to take that remainder of the 10 million, whatever it is, and split it 70-30 or something.
Yeah, it's...
But we're getting him.
That's not the other thing I was about to say. Is I find him so funny, Like, why is he bald?
Because he looks like Fleck.
But no, because he's 25. The guy,
Brentford stressing him out. If he thought,
the guy's like a year older than me, and he's bald.
bro,
Why is it? He's bald by you know when?
That's nothing.
Who was the ex-Liverpool centre back who was bald by choice? Was it Clavan? No.
No.
His name began with S. He was middle.
my mind
Eastern
knows his name,
European.
but I know it's not him.
Oh,
I know
what's his name?
I
You know
who
what I'm
you're
talking about?
Yeah.
Who, like, he left Liverpool and then
Yeah,
grew a
yeah.
set of hair and turns out it was fine.
It's SK. It's SK something.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's just people who
Oh,
like.
what's
It's just,
his
I find
name?
it so. I just find it
You know
so
that's
funny.
contagious,
Skirtle, thank you, chat.
Skirtle.
When
Thank
someone
you,
does
chat.
I told you it was SK though.
Yeah,
It was in
you
my
did
head.
that. I was thinking it's Skriniar, no,
Yeah,
but he's
that's the
not.
name I wanted to say.
Yeah,
I
but he
think it
didn't
was-
play.
I actually liked him,
Well,
as a
Skriniar
player.
back in the day.
Like Skirtle.
Old-fashioned.
Oh, Skirtle.
Yeah, I think he was a great.
Yeah, he was
great
like a
centre-back.
solid like 6, 7 out of 10 defender who just
Decent
kind of put it.
centre-back.
He was in Liverpool's. He was a
reset
centre
era.
back in Liverpool's like banter era.
Yeah,
which
but
is
he
like where
was
we
solid.
are now.
But
Yeah,
he
but
was
he was.
solid.
Yeah.
There were certain players in
I
Liverpool
don't
that I
disagree.
thought
I don't disagree. I think kind of something we don't have is enough players like him. We don't have enough players like Mazwari and things. Like people who
Mazraoui's
just
a
put in a
warrior.
6 or 7
Yeah.
out of 10.
You never
just
really.
put it in every
When he
week.
has a bad game, you're shocked.
Mazraoui,
Yeah.
Someone like Mazraoui, you're like, huh?
But I can't,
you let it go.
really rarely, I can think of him having bad moments. I can't think of him having bad games. I like him.
It's true.
This is what I was saying in terms of Ineos' signings, like who they've signed.
That's a
It's
fact.
players like that. I'm just like, like that's good. 12.5 or 12.9 million, he'll be here another 4 or 5 years
why-
easy.
And this
That's
is
why
the
I
thing.
hate. Sorry, go on, you first.
With the rumours, with the transfer fees and stuff, when we actually get those transfer figures shown to us, it's not as bad as what all of the rumours say.
It's true.
Like outside of the whole, buyout clause and that, just the normal negotiations not as bad. Delit's not as bad.
De Ligt was about
Azrael's not as
38,
bad. You know what I mean?
Hold
None
on.
of them are as bad.
Last season's transfer window was good.
Yeah.
I keep on telling everybody,
Yeah,
and
I
I
think
think
it was.
anybody would go back and see that I rated it as 7 out of 10. Every time anybody asked me this season, I keep saying it was 7 out of 10, and everybody was saying, "Oh, but look, the signings, oh, whatever." What are you talking about? Almost. You can't tell me how much things we had 5, right?
5 signings.
4 out of those 5 everybody likes. You can't tell me 4 out of those 5 you don't like. Because tell me if you don't like Xerxes. Well,
Xerxes is the only contentious
Xerxes
one.
the what? Actually, no, because
You reckon
Kante as
people-
well.
No, but because he started bad.
Xerxes, but I think people want to see more of Xerxes because
Yeah,
of the second
yeah.
half of his season. Do you know
I
what I
think
mean?
it's how
Oh yeah,
we're
no,
using
I
it,
do. I reckon him, Xerxes, and Cunha as a front 3 can work.
I think
I
because
don't- I
he
don't-
will
I
drop
don't
deep
necess-
and they can go past
I
him.
don't necessarily know about where they would play because this is a real curveball, is I wouldn't mind seeing Xerxes on the right, Cunha on the left and him up top. I wouldn't.
Him?
Yeah.
Cunha up top.
No, I think I
As in
I
he's
think
got that
him over
speed for
Cunha.
the quick
Do you know it'd be
bang.
wicked just to see them all interchange?
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
just
yeah,
love to see it.
I'm assuming this to be like a fluid front 3, but
Who's the
also as
quickest out
well.
of the obviously Xerxes not. Who's the quickest out of Cunha?
Cunha.
Cunha's quicker.
Yeah,
than
Cunha
Mbeumo.
is rapid.
Okay, fair.
You see,
I'm saying Cunha up front,
so
man.
the thing about
Cunha's
Cunha, which
that
I
natural
like so
replacement.
much, right, is he's rapid with the ball at his feet. You can have rapid players, right, like Rasmus Højlund is rapid, for example, but he's not quick with the ball at his feet. Cunha is quick with the ball at his feet. The guy drives from literally much.
got long
It won't
strides,
happen as much with us because hopefully won't be playing the same way Wolves do. He picks the ball up on the edges of Wolves' defensive third and runs almost at full tilt with the ball at his feet to the opposition area.
love that.
The guy's so good. He spends a lot of time walking. Is one thing I want to warn United fans. He spends more time walking than any other player in the Premier League.
This has already
but
come up.
that's fine.
That's what I was about. Listen,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're going to walk when you're off the ball and when you got the ball, you're doing that, why am I complaining?
I would rather
It's
play.
about
I
the
would
work
rather
rate.
play a walk and then make the right run than make 5 runs that are shit.
There you go.
So I'm fine with the walking thing, but I do think it's going to come up.
Of
It will
course,
come
it's
up.
already
It's
come
gonna-
up. It's
Rashford,
already come
that
up.
No,
was
but
the
it's
thing
in
with
when they're
Rashford.
playing, it's going to come up.
It's already basically before, the soon as we was attached to him. I don't know how much times you guys watch the morning shows like UV and stuff like that, yeah. But I'm telling you, it was one of the first things that came up, bro. Like on a morning show, he's one of the players that walks
is he
the
like
most
off
in the
the
Premier
ball?
League, and it was one of the first stats people brought up, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
And we
no, I
was
bet,
we
yeah.
was like, oh my god, what you talk? It doesn't really matter,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you know who walked loads?
Rashford.
Messi. Messi spent half the games walking.
Yeah, but to be fair,
No, all I'm saying is that it's not an indicator of a player that's bad or doesn't work hard or can't play for a top
it's all
club.
about the work rate on the ball sometimes
Yeah, exactly.
as well.
And it's about him being clever. If he's walking but he's clever, then he can save his energy and he can play more. Like, cool, fine. But okay, I want to move on. Still talking about the front 3, but more. So he's covered the Cunha signing and Mbeumo signing. I'm losing it. The next question I want to ask is about who we sign next. So we need more signings than just these 2, right? Everyone knows we need about 6. Ideally, we'd have like 7 players through this window. We can't. I reckon it ends up at 5. I reckon it ends up these 2, striker, midfielder, and then like a squad signing maybe as a goalkeeper or a defender, like towards the end of the window. It's depending on like if Bayindir leaves or if one of our centre backs for some reason goes or something. But what I want to ask is, because the rest of our signings now depend on sales, right? We're not going to be able to sell every single player we have at the same day, right? It's going to take time. The Rashford deal could happen really quickly because of the Diaz stuff, or it could take ages. Garnacho, the negotiations could take forever with like Chelsea or Napoli or whatever. Anthony could be drawn out because there could be loan bids and there could be people trying to undercut us and everything. So what will have to happen is we'll sell a couple players, then sign someone else, then sell some more players, then sign someone else. That's just chronologically how I think it's going to happen. So what I want to ask you is who that next signing should be. Should it be a striker or a midfielder? Because as it says on the title, so Ben Jacobs this morning, for those who've missed it, has said on United Stand that Gyökeres is very keen to join should we be able to make the financials work, is what he said. So hence why in the thumbnail it says very keen to join Gyökeres. And that's a deal that kind of, I feel like he'd be willing to wait. Maybe if he's very keen to join us, right, and it's not contingent on Champions League, and he actually wants to come to United, I reckon if we were to say something to him like, we will get this done, but it's going to take us a little bit to engineer it, I reckon we might be able to convince him to just chill out, wait for a sec, for us to then sort our finances out, go and get a midfielder, because I'm thinking a midfielder is... Because we signed 2 players who have so many goals, I'm thinking, get a midfielder in, because Bruno's staying, he'll probably be playing more games deeper, get an energetic midfielder behind him, like someone like a younger Casemiro, not necessarily as good as young Casemiro, but someone like him, even slightly, then sell some more players, then go and sign Gyökeres, is what I... If the Gyökeres stuff is true, and he wants to join us, I would be happy. I would like us to be like, give him some sort of guarantee and be like, we will sort it, but you've got to give us a little bit of time. To then get a midfielder. So I've put Hayden Hackney up here, by the way. This is who this is, Middlesbrough midfielder. I think he's fantastic. 22-year-old midfielder, Middlesbrough. Our scouting department loves him. I've been told this so many times by people in the scouting department. They think he's sick. Played under Carrick for a while, obviously at Middlesbrough. I've just put him there as an option.
About him, to be honest.
I just put him there as a midfielder that we've been linked to, because we've been linked to him recently. The other one we've been linked to is Edison. But Al Hilal are trying to get him, and we can't compete with, unless it's Bruno Fernandes, clearly, we can't compete with Al Hilal. So yeah, after my ramble, I just want to pose the question, what should be next? You can take your time if you want, think about it. Or not.
Just a question.
So are you saying,
to be fair, I'm not being funny. I don't want to make him wait. Yeah? There's a whole reason why I think Arsenal's moving mad right now is because they're making too much people wait. Yeah, I don't know what financials they got to work out, whatever they, maybe it's the financial window needed to open for them, whatever, I don't know. But, bro, don't make this man wait anymore. I feel like he's getting to that point now where he wants to know what his next season looks like. And if you're keeping this guy around waiting, he might just take an offer from somewhere else. Because there will be other suitors for him apart from us and Arsenal. There are other people that have been looking at him already. And if you never know who else could just suddenly be looking for a striker. You never know if Real Madrid might just go, yeah, why not? You never know if Barcelona might go, yeah, why not? You don't know who might go, yeah, why not? Bayern Munich might go, yeah, why not?
And true, I think the other thing is like, I'm not sure Manchester United are assured on the midfielder that they want. Like, I don't, that was being, like, we're linked with Edison. I'm not sure Amorim or Manchester United are saying that's like, are fully convinced. Is it that out of all the options they've looked at him and said...
Are you saying the type of profile or the specific bloke?
The specific
guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
I think it's more the profile because, to be honest, well, from what I've heard through the delegates and through other people in United View, I've not really watched him myself, but people are telling me that he's just like Ugarte, just a Brazilian Ugarte. And people really don't like Ugarte. So there's like, why are we getting two of the same thing?
I think he's a bit more progressive a little bit, but in my mind, I'm just like, is he... Like, in my mind, who I want to partner Bruno is a...
Yeah, in my mind, this is who, in what I'm thinking is who's next to
Caicedo.
Bruno is what I think's happening.
A Declan Rice. You know, like...
See, but a Declan Rice is nothing like a...
Yeah, if you're looking at Arsenal
Ugarte.
midfielders, I would say, I'm not going to say his name, but a profile like number 5.
Why don't you want to say his name?
But
It's pretty obvious.
But deep it, but it's like... I feel like we need someone, in my mind, what I want is a box-to-box midfielder that can get up and down, that can protect that ball, can play with his back to goal, but also can help progress the ball forward with a pass. Casemiro, the one thing I love about him as well, actually there's more things that I like about him, but the one thing I like about him, pause by the way, is the fact that he can pass. It's the fact that he can do that long-range pass. He has that vision.
Yeah, he's got a ping on it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can ping that ball. Mainoo, I don't see him doing that too often. When I'm thinking about Bruno sitting deep, is because he can do that.
He died. You're getting too much pauses on this, bro.
Okay,
Talk
cool,
like a
cool,
big
Yeah,
man.
bro, he's having the time of his life, man. Say it with chest.
Look, Manchester United are looking at that midfield thinking, we need more creativity. Bruno's dropped into that position because he allows for that ball to be taken off the defence, keeper, whoever it is, and then they give it to Bruno, and they're like, Bruno, do your thing with your vision. Outside of that, Casemiro does it once in a while, but he doesn't do it consistently.
Well, I wouldn't say he does it when he plays, but he doesn't play often enough for it to be consistent because he can't consistently play.
He can't so he can't consistently play. So we're looking for someone that can take the burden of Bruno doing all of that defensive work and allow him to do his thing whilst he does his thing. And Ugarte is not really trusted in that sense from what I'm hearing in terms of...
But where's the defence then if you've got Bruno and another creator in the two,
No, I want to
and then you've got a front
I want
three.
someone that can do it all out. So when Neves
So you
was
want-
going PSG,
you
I
want
was
Declan
screaming
Rice?
for Neves. I was like, João
Neves.
Neves, I wanted you to come, please come. And then PSG took it.
Not fair.
I want someone that can
João
do it all.
Neves,
A
yeah.
Camavinga. Do you know what I mean? Someone
But
that can do
they
it all.
are premium players, bro.
And that's the
Are
issue.
we going to be able to splash, what, 55, 60 mil on
I
Gyökeres
heard that
and then
bit.
also buy a premium
Well,
mid?
what's
Well,
what
I heard
guys
that.
say though for 5 million?
And I heard that Real Madrid don't want Tchouaméni anymore.
Has he got the
I heard that.
Has he got the techers?
Listen, he was great before he went there, obviously, and
Yeah.
he was good. He was good
Tchouaméni
there
was
as well
class.
in periods. He was
No,
good.
in France, he was good. In France, I'd say is the second most physical league after the
Bro,
Prem
he's
in
a
Europe.
good player. And you know what people keep on saying about us, it's just because he's there. Maybe he just wasn't working there. At the end of the day, working under certain managers as well might not be good for certain players. And we've seen that with certain attacking players when they worked under Mourinho. Salah used to play for Mourinho. De Bruyne used to play for Mourinho.
Yeah.
Look at
No,
them.
I don't mind that shout at all because I used to back when he was where was he? Was it Rennes? He wasn't. I can't remember. But I used to watch. I used to Tchouaméni. I used to watch a lot more French football than I do now. And that kid was crazy.
Another thing though, why I would say Gyökeres is because what's gonna happen with Mainoo, man? Like we all know, Manchester United didn't reject 100 million potential bid for Saudi to be him doing bit part and not playing. We bought 2 number 10s clearly because we want guys that's got the speed and physicality that can catch those runs and do those things. That's a number 10 position. He can play there, but us buying 2 10s is almost an indication of the board or whoever saying, Bruno, you're sitting deeper. Do you understand? And if you're sitting deeper, that's one position gone. Then you're looking at it like, okay, what's going to happen with Kobe Mainoo? What's going to happen with his future? Because we're talking about another midfielder. We're talking about another DM. Like, Mainoo, there's only a certain amount of time where it's going to work, where we're doing this. Oh, you come off the bench and play 20 minutes or 30 minutes. That is going to end at some point. And then you've got a potential world beater, £100 million player. That is just going to...
If it works out, by the way.
And I'm worried. Because...
I could not
worried.
be less worried about Kobe Mainoo's future. I am so comfortable in saying that I think he will thrive here and he will be okay.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying I don't like.
I was waiting
Obviously,
for the end
I
of
want
that.
him to say I love Kobe Mainoo, right? I'm sure that 95% of United fans do. I am not worried. about
Why
him
do you say
at
that?
all? Because he's fucking incredible as a footballer,
He is.
and
No,
he
he is,
will
though.
therefore be fine. Because he's
be
not.
fine.
He'll be okay. I think he'll be absolutely fine because the biggest reason he hasn't played under Amorim is because he got 2 injuries in really key periods. He got injured at the beginning when Amorim was sorting out who he liked and didn't like, and then he started playing a bit, and then he got injured again when Amorim was pretty much selecting. Like we could tell from maybe March he was selecting his starting 11 for the Europa League final, right? On the assumption we got there, and Mainoo was injured then. So when Mainoo came back, it's hard for I think it was kind of hard for Amorim to then go, okay, I've learned so much about these players in the last 2 months, and then just kind of go, I'm going to throw Mainoo in there. But that's it. That's all I think it was. I don't think there is any sort of major problem with Mainoo not fitting in the system. Blah blah. So what I've been crying out for, and what all United fans have been crying out for, is it's not about getting players who fit Amorim's system. It's just about having a squad full of good players. Kobe Mainoo is one of those good players. So he will be in the squad. He is 20, right? He's not 24, 25. There's and I get the whole thing of there's, he'll be in, all the top clubs will be interested in if he came in. But unless he doesn't sign a contract, because obviously he's got 2 years left on his deal at the end of this year, but there might be a 1+ extension. I'm not worried about Mainoo because I believe in his abilities to play either as a deeper player or as either of those 2 10s.
That's exactly where I was going to
I think you talk about Bruno, right? Being
Where do you think he fits?
If Bruno's staying back, he can do both.
Then why are you worried about getting a midfielder before Gyökeres then? That's what my next point was going to be.
But,
if you think he's that good, then he's
because
gonna slot in.
I like Mainoo in the final third and in their half of the pitch, right? And I would rather we signed a midfielder who doesn't do that. If we got Bruno or Mainoo in one of the 8 positions, I want someone who's, let's say, their heat map is going to be behind Mainoo.
So Mainoo's a Bruno backup then for you.
I like Mainoo he should be involved in the attack.
Okay.
Is all I'm saying. But I think he can be involved anywhere.
But
in
wouldn't
the
it be good if you could have 2 players in the midfield that can you were saying that could maybe do both.
I would
Like
rather. Well,
We need the energy because Mainoo gets left
potentially,
behind.
but we can't do that this window. We can't go and sign 2 players who are both amazing defensively and amazing attackingly. But we have midfielders who are good in attack, like Bruno, like Mainoo. So why not buy someone who's good defending? It's the most. I think it's like the most efficient way to buy a midfielder who can help raise the floor of our squad.
When I look at
That makes sense.
Amorim, when I look at Amorim and what he said, a lot of the time he references things about the physical nature. Like
Yes.
he wants people that are strong, quick, athletes, mobile. Mainoo is a strong lad. He's still young. He's still potentially growing. I just
You don't know one thinks it until you do, right?
I just
It doesn't cross my.
I'm
So
just-
I do.
I'm just putting it out
I
there.
just, yeah, but
just-
you're the only one putting it out there, man. No one
Let me land. Okay, let me land. He's still maturing as a player, yeah.
And he will do for the next 5 years.
And my thing is he ain't got that burst of speed. He ain't got that ability to be able to just leave a guy like that and just, you know, he can do a little drop of the shoulder, create a little yard. But if there's a transition, if you're getting caught on the ball or trying to run back, Mainoo's getting left behind. I want someone that is able to be like bombing up and bombing down. Bruno does that very well.
You want Scott McTominay back?
Nah, McTominay wouldn't be good at that. If we signed McTominay, I want him in one of the 10s or like right wing back or something. I wouldn't want him as
He'd be
one
a
of
10,
the
he'd be a
8s.
10.
Yeah, he'd be a 10. He'd be a
Yeah.
good 10. The thing is though, so you're saying about the burst of speed thing, like not every player needs to be absolutely perfect in every single way. Like Amorim wants the ball. Ideally, I think him and his squad, his team in the Premier League, he wants players on the ball. That's why he wants his central centre back to be stepping forward. That's the other thing actually I was going to say as well is that Amorim likes his central centre back to step forwards.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm just going to throw this out there. I think Aiden Heaven would be amazing for that role in the future.
He's
That guy on the ball, if he's middle centre back, stepping into midfield on the ball, you talk about someone who wants to ping it left and right. That kid's got a pass and a half in his
I actually
locker.
like him on the ball, though. You know, he's
No, but
actually
it's-
really good
on the ball, yeah, if he's receiving the ball and you think, oh, we're not got Casemiro anymore, no one who can ping those balls. Martinez comes back, he can ping a ball. We got Lenny Yoro is becoming increasingly all right
Harry
at pinging a
Maguire
ball as
can
well.
Yeah.
Harry
And he
Maguire can
progressed.
ping a ball.
Both of them carry the ball.
I'm being overly optimistic here, don't worry, I'm not just saying this is all going to happen, but there is definitely a chance that those centre-backs can also start playing those balls once they're actually fit. But one super chat I want to read out from M&M. It was a weekly viewer, thank you very much for watching every time, says, am I the only one who's not convinced by Gyök for the Premier League? Check out the overlaps breakdown on him, pretty accurate. I'll take a quality 6 and a goalkeeper first. I kind of get what I tweeted this earlier, I am a little more apprehensive on Gyökeres than I am on Cunha and Mbeumo, just because Cunha and Mbeumo have combined like 230 Premier League appearances and they scored a combined like 48 goal involvements last season, which is nuts because we got like 44 goals in the Prem. But I do kind of understand it. It's a little bit more risky than if we sign, for example, someone like Osimhen, right? Osimhen was my first choice from the get-go, but I accept it's way too expensive for him. He's got a 480 grand a week offer from Saudi. We're not he's gone. Delap, I'm slightly more controversially, I really like Delap, and I really wanted to sign him. I thought it was quality.
For the price, yes.
I think it was such a good signing.
I thought it was a good risk to take.
Yeah,
That's what
I saw it as a low risk, high reward signing.
Yes.
But Gyökeres, I do kind of understand the apprehension around him, but
Why? Explain it to me, please. 'Cause
just
I don't.
because he wasn't fantastic last time in England, but I know that was 3 seasons ago. That's just it. I'm not saying I'm apprehensive of him. I'm slightly more apprehensive of him than I am of the others because the others are so proven. If that makes sense.
Salah went away and came back.
No, I don't. No. I think there is a definite chance that he could end up scoring 35 goals next season if he signs for us. Like, sick. I would love it. He's not scoring 50, by the way. No way in hell is that happening. 97 goals in 102
look who's
appearances
got around
is
him.
a joke.
Look at who he's got around him. Look at
In
who
terms of
he
what?
will have around him. Sorry.
No. I'm not saying he's odds on to fail or anything. I'm just saying that I am slightly more apprehensive of him than I am of the other two. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Why are people not bidding for him though? Why are people not prioritising
Good question.
Gyökeres? What are
Because
they
it's
seeing
the
that we don't
Portuguese
see?
league. It's the Portuguese
Darwin
league.
Núñez
Portuguese
came
league is
from
hit and miss, bro. You got Darwin Núñez coming from there, but you've also got Bruno Fernandes coming from there. Like it's so hit and miss. You've got João Neves, who was in the Portuguese league and he's amazing. Enzo Fernandez took a bit of time, but this season he's been fantastic at Chelsea. But there are other examples like Alex Telles, for example, coming in and he was crap.
Where did
Carlo
Bernardo
Ramos
It's
as well.
Where did
more.
Bernardo Silva come from?
He came
I
from
don't
Monaco.
know, you know, Monaco.
Okay, he was in
Yeah.
French league.
Gonçalo Ramos. He didn't hold down a starting position at PSG, but
But then he
his
was
numbers are
amazing
still
in
okay.
Portugal.
Yeah,
Like
he's
it's
still young.
this Portuguese league is hit and miss. I think that's a kind of, I would want to say mostly an irrefutable fact, which is the only thing that makes me go, Look,
Big
but also as
outlay.
well on the other side, that guy is what, like 6'2". He's ripped as hell and just strong, quick. He is ideally a very good Premier League striker because he's tall, strong, quick, and got ridiculous ball striking on him.
All of our strikers are going to benefit from the two that we've already brought in.
I completely agree.
This is
I
why
think that-
I do completely agree.
Do you think we get rid of Xerxes or Højlund?
Højlund, I can
has
really
to
see going. Xerxes, I really hope he stays.
When
I really like him.
When we brought in Rasmus Højlund, was we thinking Gyökeres when we brought? Obviously, he ain't got the goals, but was we thinking in terms of
Isn't
a
he what
profile
he'd
beast?
develop into? Yeah.
Nobody was thinking that because he wasn't bought for him.
No.
Well,
As in the
but-
way of like when Højlund came in, his profile was.
I thought
You know
that
how you
Gyökeres'
just mentioned,
profile.
6 foot plus, whatever it is.
Yeah, quick,
rare,
strong, good ball
Was
striking,
Man
yeah.
United thinking that when we
Oh
brought
yeah,
in
100%.
and then thinking he will kick on? Because to be honest, right, if Rasmus Højlund is surrounded by these people, does it improve his numbers?
That's what I was thinking, though. That's what I was thinking as well. That's why I don't know if we're going to get rid of either. I think if anything, he would be his number 2. Because why would you get, if Xerxes is not really a striker, because a lot of people have been saying this, Xerxes is not really a striker. And with the way that he does play his football.
I think Xerxes can be a striker.
it's not really a striker. Well, anyway,
No,
we could.
he's like an Anthony Martial type striker.
Yeah, but
Right.
I don't know if
that's how I
that
see
manager
it.
appreciates that kind of striker, if you understand what I'm saying, or sees him as a kind of striker that he wants, if you get what I mean. He's
Definitely.
big.
Oh yeah, no, of course not. But that's impossible to know or not know.
Of course, but just to say that the profile of strikers that I've seen that he's looking at, the Matetas, him, Xerxes not that. Yeah. So I actually think that the manager really liked Højlund at the very beginning when he first came because of the profile,
He
because of the
scored
kind of,
5 goals in 5 games.
and then obviously it's fallen off. I
Yeah.
think the manager has a belief that he could probably get something out of him like he did with him. I honestly do. Obviously this is just speaking out of, I don't know, call it conspiracy theories.
Hypothetical. No,
hypotheticals.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree because I think Højlund. It's a very touchy subject to talk about Højlund at the moment because he's just so disliked among our fan base. But I don't have too much of a doubt that he's going to end up having a good career. People are being like, oh no, he's a championship striker. He's like his level is Turkey or something. I disagree.
Me too.
I think if he was to go to, so Inter Milan are the ones pushing for him at the moment. Let's say he goes to Inter Milan. I don't have a doubt that he'll, in a couple of years, develop into a good striker. Some players take a while to develop. It just happens, and Højlund might be one of those. And we threw him in the opposite end. I still can't believe we went straight from Kane to him. I still think that was nuts.
Yeah.
That was a ridiculous
It's the
decision.
amount of money that we paid for him as well that really pissed
Yeah,
me
you
off.
know, yeah. It was the old.
Old
That's the
regime.
old people
Let's
who are on top.
forget about
This is
it.
why. It's part of the reason why I like the guy so much now. Jason Wilcox, our new director of football. I think Wilcox is fantastic. I really like him, what he's done. I really like Barada. I've been very vocal in saying that I really like Amorim, but I also acknowledge that is more on faith than evidence.
And evidence, yes.
Just to go back to the Mainoo point. Majohu has said Mainoo's lacking physicality. Mainoo's lacking physicality can be trained. Things like Garnacho's decision making is something else that will be difficult to correct.
Yeah.
This is kind of what I'm saying, and then people have replied to him basically just being like, Mainoo just needs a pre-season. This is where I am on it. Mainoo's fit now, right? He's gone on holiday. There's no games with England. There's no international tournament. He's coming back in day 1 of pre-season, and he's going to become fitter. He needs, as you said, he needs to become a bit stronger. But that's what happens when you're 20, right? When you're 22, 23, 24, you become a stronger player person. He'll do his conditioning. I think he'll be fine. This is what I'm saying. I'm really the best way to put it. I'm very relaxed about it. If he doesn't sign a new deal, then I'm like, oh, I don't know about that because he might have to leave, so we don't lose him for free. But he'll only not sign a new deal if he doesn't want to stay.
I think my only comment on that, and I'll leave it, is the fact that if we are looking for another midfielder, that's telling me that
They're worried about his future
yeah,
too.
why isn't Mainoo? And because Bruno's going to be playing in midfield a lot. Naturally.
It's because
who is Bruno partnering
yeah,
with?
it's true. It's going to be Ugarte, Casemiro, or Mainoo's pace to take that spot.
You've brought 2 number 10s, and we've got multiple other players that can play number 10. Do you understand? So for me,
I'm scared for Mainoo.
I'm like,
I'm not.
if you're buying a new midfielder,
I'm really not.
what does that mean for Mainoo?
But I'm more scared for Mainoo because of what you said, though.
What?
You see, because you said that if he doesn't sign a new
Oh
contract,
yeah. That's the one thing that I'm worried about.
He's already said through his people that he's worried about his future as well because he doesn't know where he slots in. It's up to Amorim now.
That's
to
not
let him
quite
know
what was said.
What's
been reported is that before he signs a new deal, he just wants clarification on where Amorim sees him.
But what if he doesn't get that clarification?
He will.
What if he sees him on the bench?
Because Amorim's sorting out this summer, right? He's going to sign the players he wants to sign, and then he's going to sit down with the squad and go, right, this is what everything's going to look like, and then he's going to go to Mainoo and go, this is it.
Yeah, but what if he sees him as a coming off the bench player? He doesn't see him as a starter. Yeah. What if that's what he says to him?
Mainoo and Cunha are starters.
Yeah.
And all the talk was about Mainoo being in that attacking position, like you mentioned. You want to see him in that contributing to attack. What he did against, he was against Lyon, where he did that nice cut back, top corner. That's where people were saying they want to see Mainoo more.
Yeah, but you're saying like Cunha's nailed on to start all 50 games next season. He's not. He's going to be a starting left winger because as well. What?
Outside of the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup.
Well, we've got maybe about 50 to 55 games next season, right? Assuming we get far in the competitions. We're also looking to sell Højlund and Garnacho. It's not like there's now more people in the spaces that Mainoo's in, right? Mainoo's currently in the positions where there's like Garnacho there, Xerxes there, etc. If Xerxes, let's say Højlund goes, Xerxes is the second choice striker, right? He's also a player who can play in the 10s, but Xerxes is also the second choice striker.
Yeah.
Garnacho goes, that's someone on the left wing who's not there anymore. Mason Mount, we don't know what his future's like. It's not like Mainoo's now 8th in the pecking order, right? Mainoo will be there and do what he should do as a footballer, which is fight for his place. You all say Mainoo is a starter, but at the same time also he has to fight for it,
He
right?
is only 20.
This is what I'm saying. If Mainoo starts 25 games next season and plays 40 overall, as a 20-year-old midfielder, that's solid. He had an insane start to life, right? Which was incredible and amazing to watch everything on the 3 of Eric Ten Hag's 3. This season, as well, the other thing is he hasn't been amazing when he's played. It's because of his fitness issues. He's been injured so much and everything. But like, there's this thing of, I don't think there's too much of an issue with Mainoo because he's such a good footballer that he will be able to fit in anywhere just because he's got so many good traits on the ball, off the ball, all of that. But at the same time, you can't be giving him a free pass and just going, no, he has to start. Because what if he doesn't play well? He's got to fight for his place. That's what we need, right? Back in I say back in the day, for example, right? We had like the old adages. We had 4 like world-class strikers at the club, right? We had like this is like back in Sir Alex Ferguson's like proper heyday in the 90s, early 2000s. We had like York, Cole, Sheringham, Solskjaer. We weren't like United fans won't be sitting there going, oh, I don't know, like I'm worried about Andy Cole's future because like Dwight York is there. Like no, you've got both of them. I know we play 2 strikers, not 1 striker. We've got 2 number 10s that mainly can go in both positions, and we've got like 4 or 5 players for those 2 positions. That's what we need as a club, and the players there should be going, I want to start every week, so I'm going to fight for it. So I'm going to do my conditioning. I'm going to do extra training. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better at my technique.
And that happens after we've built ourselves back up to that club where it allows those players to be able to.
But that starts with us buying players like Cunha and Mbeumo and also keeping hold of Mainoo and making them all fight. Not fight. They make him compete. Sorry, just in the ring. But like it's making them all compete. That's where I see it, is we shouldn't have one good player for each position. Is that the same conversation with Ahmad? So I'm really going on here. Like Ahmad and Mbeumo, right? Everyone's like, why are you buying an Mbeumo when you've got Ahmad? Yeah. Because we need 2 good players in each position. Ahmad is probably an option in both wing back and number 10.
Please.
Right? So he can compete. He can compete with Dalot at wing back and with Mbeumo at 10, because we need good players in all positions. He might be maybe the starting wing back with Dalot competing with him, and then he might be the backup 10 with Mbeumo. But then let's say Mbeumo gets injured. The other thing, let's say Mbeumo gets injured, or Cunha gets injured, and we sold Mainoo.
Yeah.
We're back to having to start Mount every game.
And that's what.
We need options, and Mainoo's part of that.
You know what it is about?
Which is why I don't think that Mainoo's in trouble.
Mount's athleticism is what I really think why Amorim likes him.
He loves him.
Of that athletic ability, what he's able to press and do all of that. Mainoo's a different profile. Like him being in a 10 consistently starting, doing that whole, Bruno's pinged it now, someone needs to run onto that ball.
It's not him.
It's not him. So he can be that one you're bringing on at the end, like towards the end of the game, where you need to win a goal and he's in and around the goal and you're doing that and he's doing his intricate in the box thing. But I just can't see
But
Mainoo.
also against Villa, right? So when we played that 2-0 game against Villa, where we set up quite different. Both our fullbacks were really high. Both of our 10s were in the area like the whole time. That's where Mainoo thrives. And we played like that from minute 1. So we played against Aston Villa, who was fighting for Champions League, right? We ended up beating them 2-0. Both our 10s were in the box with the ball at their feet, which is where Mainoo thrives, showing that Amorim, his system or whatever, or how he wants to set up things, also lends to Mainoo's abilities more positive. Because if you've got the ball, and because Mbeumo and Cunha, they're not going to be playing defensive football anymore. They're not going to be like running, which is obviously at Brentford and Wolves what you do more often. We're going to be playing high up. Our average position, hopefully, it's going to be higher, which is good for Mainoo.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
because we don't
and
play
that's good
like
for Kobe Mainoo. So it means we have let's say we got Gyökeres and Xerxes up front. They're different profiles, but good in my opinion. Cool, we got different profiles of strikers. It's not just like for like the same thing.
Yeah.
And then we got different profiles in the 10. We got different profiles at wing back, different profiles in midfield. I think that's a good thing.
And the other thing that I'm noticing is that everybody's going to be interchanging. Because every time I'm thinking about these players, I'm thinking, well, he can play there. Like Mainoo, 10.
Yeah, exactly.
8. Okay. Ahmad, wing back, 10.
This is why I'm not overly worried.
Even Bruno, 10, 8. Who knows? You're
Bruno
going to have
can
all these players.
Cunha,
All of these
striker.
players, yeah.
Striker or on
10,
the left.
10.
Or on the left, yeah.
You never know.
Mbeumo
maybe
on the
even wing
left.
back.
Yeah. Ahmad,
Maybe
left
even
and wing back.
Mbeumo, maybe
Right
even
wing
wing
back.
back.
This is what I mean.
Maybe
This is
wing
what I
back.
mean. If we need to overload a team, we've got just all of
That's
them.
what I'm saying. It's
Bring it on,
crazy.
literally.
It's crazy how much players that we have that are interchangeable and adaptable
Buying
now.
these players gives us
United's
like,
competing.
and keeping the ones we have, the good ones that we have, gives us options.
I'm not saying it.
This is why I'm saying I'm not overly worried about Mainoo.
If we get Gyökeres, Manchester United is going to be finishing in a European spot.
I hope so.
I
Yeah.
agree with that.
That's
We
what I
have to.
think we're
That's
gonna
like
be
top
But I
eight.
think he would have to. I
Like,
think that he
one,
would
I'm
have
just
to.
putting it out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But that back to the manager then, that's pressure on him now. If he gets this guy, if Amorim gets his doggy, his guy, his one that he's been saying, everybody's saying that he's pushing for this. That's what the reports are saying, yeah?
Yeah.
Bro,
He's got to start well.
start well,
So
end well, in the middle
Yeah.
well, all the way through the season.
I agree.
Basically, you can't F up.
This
cannot F up.
leads perfectly onto this one question I was going to ask you. So think about how you felt about Amorim the day after the European final. We lost to Spurs, right? And then now think about what's happened so far in the window and who we've signed, who we're looking to sign. Does this change how you feel about Amorim or what you think about him?
No, absolutely not. I can answer that straight away. Why would it change what I think about him? It makes me believe more in Ineos, and I believe more that this team is going to be way better.
Yeah, maybe a better phrase of it is how much do you believe that he could succeed here?
Oh, it's every day is getting better and better for him. Because do you know what? The day when, because I was like, oh, I want that Bruno money. This is what I was saying. I was saying I want the Bruno money. The minute Bruno said no, I was like, what's better for him? Because he needs to add to what he has, not to try and replace it, is what I've been saying the whole time. What's the point in replacing the thing that Bruno had? You're not even sure if it's gonna work, yeah? At least you know Bruno works, and then maybe you can bring on those Mbeumo's, you can bring on the Cunhas, make that even greater, yeah? Make Manchester United great again, yeah? And when Bruno said no, I was like, this Amorim must be spinning around on his chair somewhere, like, because you know what?
Ultimate salesman, bro.
Everything comes down to next season for him. And for him to do well, he doesn't need to try and make a team understand him again from scratch. At least Bruno knows what. Ahmad knows what.
I'm so happy.
Bro,
You know
his
why I'm
playing
so
team is
confident?
gonna be
So,
good.
what was the one say? I'm so happy you've said that because I've been banging on about this for about 6 months. Is that the one good thing about Amorim being stubborn now is the players he wants to keep at United now know what they need to do. It's not like he had a back four formation and then he's suddenly gone to the centre back. We now know Lenny Yoro can play amazing at left centre back. We wouldn't have known that if Amorim had started with a back four and changed to a back three in the summer. One thing I do want to say, comments to all 745 of you watching, I want you to answer, obviously not all 745 of you because you
All of you, yes.
But all of you, yes or no, does what we've done so far in the window and what it looks like we're going to do this window make you believe, either more or less or the same, that Amorim can succeed with the 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 at United? So succeed, obviously, that's relative. That could mean top 4 next season for you, or it could mean win a Prem title in 3 years or 5 years or whatever. Like, whatever you deem as success for Amorim, do you think that what we've done in the window so far and what we're looking to do for the rest of the season makes you believe more in him or not? My answer is definitely yes.
I'll tell you what, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you
Firmz,
what's going
you
to
go.
happen, because in Bruno's first season when he came, right, I was just looking at the numbers I was doing. When he first came to Manchester United, that was his best ever season, right? He got 50-something goal contributions, GA.
Oh, you mean like United and Sporting combined?
Yeah, yes, United and Sporting combined. He had about 50-something GA. But in the Premier League for Manchester United, how many goals did he get?
It was like
double figures, like
it was like
7.
10 goals and 7 assists in 15 games.
Yeah, it was like half a season.
I think when
Stupid.
Manchester United, right, is not in all these other like European football, can focus on the Premier League. I think all of Bruno's energy, all of his attention is just going to be focused on the Premier League mainly and getting those numbers. Bruno typically gets around 8 to 10 goals in the Premier League. You've got Mbeumo that's going to get you your 8 to 10 goals.
Another
in the Premier
8 to 10,
League.
yes.
You're going to go there. Cunha is going to get you another 8 to 10 goals in the Premier League. You've got your Ahmad.
I would go higher.
I'm about to say 15 to 20 is what I'm looking at from them, man.
Though. I'm being very conservative.
No, why?
Oh, you're talking about the floor?
Yeah, I'm talking about the floor. Like, I'm being very
fair
conservative.
dues.
And then you've got your Ahmad, and then you've got all of these other Mount. Hopefully, when he's fit, like Manchester United, where you've got that concentration of people that's going to be pouring out goals into the Premier League. Yeah, I'm telling you, Manchester United, is going to be back to challenging for European football.
Okay.
I know you're being worried. The reason why I'm not going to say the Premier League, right? I'll tell you this.
No, we're not challenging for the Premier League next season.
Because, I know. The team's just not ready.
Jokingly, by the way, I'm going to say it constantly. I'm going to say we are, but I know we're not.
We're not ready. The team needs a lot more work.
Yeah, I'm going to say this right now. But but it's what I'm saying to you. If we get, like you're saying, 5 to... And I'm going to say this. I think we're actually going to get more than 5 players if we sell certain people.
We need to sell.
Yeah, it depends on sales, but I
really think we're going to get 5 no matter what. I just said that.
Yeah,
I think
fair
we're
enough.
going to get 5. Whether they be high quality or not is a different story.
Yeah.
I think we'll get 5 players. Now, the quality of those players go up by who we get rid of, like the Rashfords, the Anthonys, the Sanchos. If we can get like those big names off the books straight away.
And forgotten hero Tyrell Malacia.
I said big names. I said the big name ones. The ones that are going to get some decent cash, bro, yeah?
Don't forget the wages off the books as well.
Yeah, and the wages will be gone, yeah. So with those at least 3 names, getting off the books, I think that if we could do that, then what we bring in, and if he gets those 6 players, and this is what I'm covering my ears for a reason. It's because I don't want to hear you say it, because I know what I'm like, and I will start getting giddy. And here's the thing now. See, this is what I was going to say earlier when I almost interrupted you. The fact of the matter is, it's not just that our expectations of him have gone up, yeah? What it is, if he gets these players and they get him the right set of players, yeah? Everybody's top expectation of him now becomes their main expectation of him. Do you know when he's like, he can finish top 6, but really I want him to finish top 3, yeah? Top 3 now becomes what he must do if he gets all of the players. You give him leeway. If he doesn't get, he got some meaty players, so we didn't sell nobody, everybody's on loan again, and we didn't get no money in. Then you give him more leeway. Okay, get back to 6, yeah? But, bro, he gets Gyökeres, he's got Cunha, he's got Mbeumo, if he's got anybody else, big midfield names that you want, I want, anybody wants, good goalkeeper, Martinez comes in, bro, then it is over. I'll be. Hold on, I'm getting too excited. I was about to say something. That's what I'm gonna say.
It's just. It's the.
Look at your smiles.
I'm just like I'm joining you here,
bro. If
do you remember what his? Do you remember what his record was at the beginning of the season with Sporting before he joined us?
Who?
But Amorim. He'd like 11 games, 10 wins. And they'd scored like 168 million goals or something. Gyökeres was on about 30.
If it's gonna be just Premier League games.
This is the one, right?
How many chances fall to
our 10? I really think if we miss out on Champions League this season,
it's mad.
It'll depend on how we miss out on it. If we miss out on it because everyone else is playing sublime football, then it's like,
don't care.
I already know that we're not as good as City, we're not as good as Liverpool, we might not be as good as Chelsea. Probably at the moment, like even if we sign these 3 that we're signing, we're still not as good as Arsenal, right? I just don't think we are. So if we miss out on Champions League because these guys are good, piss off, Ben. Then fine. But if we miss out on Champions League football because we crashed and burned, then I'll be like, that's a failure. No, but I'm saying if I'm not going to stand here and say that Champions League football is the I don't know every week. I'm not going to say that Champions League is like the barometer for success or failure because it depends on how we do or don't get it. Obviously, I'd love to get it, and if we get it, I would say the season is a success plus whatever happens in the cups, like in the league. If we end up 6th because every other team has been incredible, then I'm kind of just going to be like, that's really annoying, but I don't want Amorim sacked.
No, but I'll be happy with that though. If you're saying everybody else is playing incredible, 100 points, 99 points, 98 points, whatever, and then we're there at 6th. That's really good.
This is what I'm saying. So I'm not going to say that Champions League is the be all or end all, right? I'm not going to say if we don't get Champions League, it's a failure.
I ain't even worried about it. I'm just worried about the rebuild. And I'm just enjoying the process.
Yeah. This is what I mean. But I'd obviously love it. Like if we don't have to finish 2nd, we don't have to finish 3rd. If we just get Champions League, so I'm saying this now. Obviously, I'll probably change my mind a million times. If we get Champions League, sick. I'll sit there and go success.
Your mind's going to change.
It definitely will.
Every single time we sign someone.
That's what it is.
Every single time we do this.
On deadline day, when we secure our 9th player, right? I'm going to go anything less than 96 points, and he gets no.
The thing is,
it depends on who the 9 players are.
Mbeumo's so clinical, And Mbeumo's clinical.
He put in like the most crosses last season. Mbeumo, by the way, he scored 20 goals.
And he put Gyökeres at the end of that, or Mateta at the end of that. Anyway.
Gyökeres isn't great.
It depends on who we sign.
Gyökeres isn't fantastic in the air. His ball striking is nuts.
It's crazy.
Feed him. Low crosses, bro.
Wherever he gets him, just get it to him.
Feed the man.
I recap Garnacho's chances. I recap how he's getting all of the chances.
Yeah, and he's not scoring anything.
And I'm like,
if that was clinical people.
If that's Cunha and Mbeumo getting those chances.
This is falling to Gyökeres, who they trust. Because
he can strike a ball, I've seen some of his goals.
You've got Ahmad that's playing a full season and he's fit.
And you got people that know how to find each other. That's the other thing about it, People that know how to find each other in the final third, that's where it's really going to be crazy.
You know what I'm happy about more than anything is that we can sit and talk about United and actually smile again.
But this is what
we're
always
laughing.
happens. This happens in pre-season. Every pre-season this happens. We can't wait for it to end because this is our only happy period. Trying to see how we're going to make it better again. Yeah. So.
But
hopes and prayers of what Man United lives on.
Bro,
that's why we're the theatre of dreams. Sorry.
Well, I'm going to call it there. I think what we've established is that there's a lot of potential for this summer, and what we've done so far is great work.
Is it finished?
Yeah, we're gonna have to call it that. I've got a concert to go to this evening. I need to go home.
So the show's not really finished.
Yeah.
You're just
I'm the host. I am finishing this.
We've got so much.
We can save it for next week. It's fine. We're always here. So for all of you who've watched, even if it's the first time or the 66th time or the 3rd time you've watched this, thank you so much for watching. We are here normally 12:30 or 1 p.m. every Thursday lunchtime, doing exactly what you've just seen us do for an hour: is talk, do random hypotheticals, and scream a little bit. And apart from that, Joe, Firmz, thank you so much for coming on. As always, it is a pleasure. You guys, make sure to like, sub, comment, to disagree with us, agree with us, whatever you want to say. Let me know what you think about my Amorim question, Cunha and Mbeumo, all these signings. Hopefully, we get the big man over the line, Victor Gyökeres soon. Apart from that, I will see you next week.